once again welcome to AfricaOnline24.com. This afternoon with us is lawyer Ziesemer Ingo. He lives in Hamburg and he wants to discuss one or two issues with us, particularly about visa issues, unemployment, and most importantly, DNA test. Sir, you are welcome.
Thank you very much.
First of all, let's talk about DNA test. It is very topical in our community that most Africans or blacks are recently being asked to undertake DNA test. Is it legal?
Yes, it's legal, but not in this way you asked me. We are talking about family situations. The mother and the father are not married, but they have a child together. The child has a German book, a German nationality, and one of the parents, the mother or the father, gets a residence permit because of this situation. That means one of the parents, the mother or the father, is a German or maybe African with a German book and has a stay for Germany. The other part does not have a stay permit and tries to get or applies for the visa because of his child. We are talking about these cases. We are not talking about families where mother and father are married and have a child together. In these cases I'm talking about, it's true, we had a change of law last year, summer. Since that time, the immigration offices in Germany do have the chance to control or to clarify if somebody, the father, is the real father of a child or not. But the whole issue is a little bit more complicated. This does not mean that in any case automatically a DNA test or blood test will be done. The first question.
Yeah, so I say it is based on when there is a suspicion, then they have to take this test, or what? What do you mean exactly?
To understand this issue, you have to understand the background of the whole situation first. The background of the situation was that in the past, that means for the last 4, 5, 6 years, it happened in many, many cases that somebody signed for a child and later this man who signed for the child or the mother of the child was qualified for a stay permit in Germany. Later, the immigration got out that in some of these cases, I don't think it's the majority of the cases, only in a few cases, that the signing for the child was not really because somebody wanted to become the father of the child, but only because they wanted to give a chance to the visa, to the child and to the mother. And our government tried to stop these possibilities by the new law.
Okay.
They decided, and this is basing, as much as I know, on the law we had in Swiss before, and which is similar to the German law now, that the immigration offices will get a chance to clarify if somebody is the father of a child if he signed for a child. But, and this is a very important point, as I said before, it doesn't mean that they will do a DNA test automatically.
Okay.
The first question which has to be answered is if somebody signed for a child, if he is a good father to the child, if he takes responsibility for the child.
Yes.
If it is like this, it doesn't matter whether he's the real father of the child, which is what the law says. If somebody takes responsibility for a child, this family will be protected.
Okay.
The relationship to the child will not be destroyed.
It means whether a mother or a father is not a real biological father of a child or mother of a child and takes up this social responsibility of being a parent, then the law protects this family. and automatically a DNA test must not be done except in some rare situations. Thank you very much.
Yes, you're right. This is a situation. The mother, I suppose, is always the mother of a child. It cannot be like this. But we are talking about the man, the father. It's not always clear whether somebody is the real father of the child. As much as I know, I just heard it some weeks ago, the English say, mother's baby, father's maybe. This is a situation. And by the law, it doesn't really matter if somebody is the real father of a child. And our government or our authorities are not interested to know this really. They just want to know if somebody really takes responsibility for a child in case he signed for a child. It's similar. It's not the same, but it's similar to adoption.
Okay.
If you adopt a child, you want this child to be your own child. And if you sign for a child, you also accept this child to be your own child. But it's not enough just to sign for a child, but you also have the true intention to take care of this child.
Okay.
And if you are acting like this, the chance that this family will get problems because of this law is not very big.
It's not very big. So specifically, we want to see these DNA tests are conducted mostly not because of the child in question, but because of probable the visa that the other part of the parent will be getting. That is why sometimes these DNA tests are conducted.
Exactly. This is the point. Exactly this is the point. It's not because, that's what our government says, they are curious to know if somebody is the real father. They just want to know if somebody takes responsibility, and this belongs together with the visa, which is attached to this acknowledgement of paternity for a child. This is the point.
Okay, good. Then, sir, there is this question too. I don't know whether it's very correct. That is why we have you here to tell us. We understand when a child is 5 years or more than 5 years, the law is not permitted to do DNA test on this child. Is it true?
It's not true in this way. The law says if the acknowledgement of paternity, die Vaterschaftsanerkennung, is more than 5 years ago, we are not talking about the date of birth of the child. We are talking about the day when somebody signed for a child. The day of Vaterschaftsanerkennung. If this day is more than 5 years ago, any clarification of the Vaterschaft cannot be done anymore by the authorities.
Okay.
It's not the age of the child, it's the period from the day somebody signed for a child.
Okay, thank you very much. Sir, concerning this DNA issue, there is a lot of panic in our community. We are scared, we actually don't know what to do. Being a legal practitioner, how will you advise us to react to such a situation?
I really recommend anybody who is in this situation to take it very, very serious. Mostly, I'm just talking about the situation here in Hamburg, but I think it's same in other parts of Germany. It starts with a letter you get from immigration office or maybe from Jugendamt. And they invite you for an interview to come to the office. Mostly they invite both of the parents, the father and the mother, to ask them about the situation between the father and the child. If somebody gets such a letter, he should, and this is my recommendation, get in contact with a lawyer immediately. It should be a lawyer who is qualified in these cases, who has experiences in these cases, because it's not only the family problem, it's also the immigration problem, which is linked together, both problems. And everybody who is in such a situation has to know not only the family problem is serious, but the consequences are so serious. If you're going to lose this case, if they should destroy the fatherhood between the child and the father, this will have very serious consequences for the residence permit of the other part, and for the child too. The child will lose his German passport, his German book, and maybe the mother or the father who are going to lose his state permit.
As well.
This is why these cases are so serious.
So it means when we receive letters from the authorities that we are not so sure of, best thing we should do is to contact our lawyers and seek professional assistance. Good. So let's talk about employment. Now that the German economy is quite shaky, there are a lot of unemployment problems. And I think most often when you go to the job centers and you look at the people there, you see about 80% of these people, if I'm not mistaken, are foreigners. Now, let's put it this way. Just as we have laws that say maybe the big companies or companies to take people who are handicapped, is there a law that says maybe minorities like Africans should also be employed in such company so that we are in a way also protected, so that we shall be motivated to go to school, because we know when we go to school there is jobs waiting for us somewhere. Is there something like that in Germany?
No, we don't have law like this that a company has to employ maybe a foreigner because only he is a foreigner. We don't have this like if somebody is handicapped, as you said, it's different, but not because of his nationality or where he's coming from. So this is a political issue which has to be maybe discussed with politicians, maybe not with a lawyer. Okay. Nevertheless, I really recommend, and this is a very normal answer, anybody to educate himself as good as possible, because this will improve his chances to get a job anywhere in the world, especially in Germany too. But as we don't have any law which will help maybe Africans or Asians, whatever, just to get a job because they are from this area.
A German colleague of yours said that, look, we shall be dreaming if we hope at the point in time the German authorities will say, look, we are giving you the right to stay. We are going to make things flexible for you. He said, we should be dreaming. Do you think he's right?
It's the same like your question before. I think this is a political matter. And it's true in the moment, and I think not in the near future, it will not be like that Africans or Asians, for example, will be allowed to come to Europe or to Germany without any other problems. It will always be a problem for them to come here and to get a visa. Because this is a political matter. This has something to do with European law and European interests. Mm-hmm. But I think this is not a question I can really definitely answer. Okay. I suppose it's correct that for the next time it will not be like this, that Africans or Asians will be allowed to come to Europe, to Germany.
So I know you're not a politician and don't like answering questions that are a bit out of your area, but all the same, I would say, what are the steps or the criteria that one can use to have a stay here and make life a bit comfortable for him? Life is just about 70 years, so that you also feel a bit more relaxed.
As you know, the immigration law in Germany is very, very complicated. We have different types of state permit in Germany. You have a chance to get a state permit of different reasons. The main reasons are family reasons. That means you are married to somebody or you have a child. Second reason is educational reasons, that you are going to study in Germany. We apply for a visa to be allowed to study at German universities. Or maybe of business reasons, that you are trying to do business in Germany. These are the main points we are talking about. The fourth point is humanitarian reasons, but this is a very special. The law is very complicated, and each case has to be checked under the conditions of the law if somebody is qualified to get a visa on this basis. But this is not a question I can answer in general. You have really to look on each case concrete and to answer.
What exactly do you mean when you talk of based on business one can also stay here?
Yeah, we have a law in Germany that if you invest a lot of money, which is I think much more money than everybody of all of us is able to invest, and if you are willing to create some places for workers in Germany. You have a good chance to get a visa in Germany. But these are very, very complicated regulations.
Okay.
I think the investment, I have to check it in the moment, is more than 500,000 euros.
Wow.
And so it's nearly impossible for a normal African to do it.
We actually have to fight for our rights. The rights are there, but we have to make up initiatives. We have to have strong community leaders who have vision to take our community out. The laws are for everybody. They are for Germans, they are for whoever. But then we have to make our own initiatives. This DNA test, we must not accept it, but then it doesn't come that easy. We have to fight against it. And then too, when we feel we don't have the strength, there are professionals who are there to help us. Go seek this professional assistance, and they are there to help you fight for your right.
I absolutely agree with you, Mr. Bailey. This is a point. If you have problems, life in Germany is not very easy for foreigners. I know it every day. People are coming to my office and I hear the problems every day. But you have to fight for your rights, as you said. You have to know that you have, in most of the cases, you have the same rights like Germans. There's no difference between, at your working place, with your landlord. All these things, you have the same rights like Germans. So just be aware that you have to fight and you have to stand up and fight for your rights. This is the main point. In some cases, really, you can't do it alone. You need help. Maybe because it's complicated, the law is complicated. You need a lawyer or somebody on your side, or maybe your friends who know about some problems. But don't accept everything. If you're not sure, if you don't want to accept something, ask somebody for help who knows about this. This is what I'm going to say to your people and to all foreigners in Germany, that they should know that they are not alone. And so, in many, many cases, the right is on their side, but they have to know it.
Sir, we thank you very much for taking this Sunday to be with us. We wish you all the best, and next time when we call upon you, you'll be there for us.
Thank you. It was a pleasure. Thank you very much.